Hi everyone, this is Becca Lockwood for the 495 ICOM Senior Capstone Creative Project Explainer. I don't have a PowerPoint or anything, I just want to keep this kind of informal, but I'm going to walk you through my project and show you some of my research and kind of get you guys on board. So I'm just going to show you here. So basically, I'm doing the usability study. I know he gave us a few options, and this is the one that I chose. I chose this because in the future, I do plan on going into the user experience field, and having this under my belt would be a good way for me to kind of break free of like the systematic instructions and really kind of work on my own with the usability report. So I'm going to be studying and basically creating my own version of Ball State's class registration program. Um, since you're in this class, you've definitely signed up for a class before and had to go through, as I say here, the tedious, unintuitive process. And I'm sure you understand what a pain in the butt it is. And it's definitely just a horrible user experience. So my project this semester is going to create a workflow that will kind of streamline this process into a single tab, and create something that really consumerizes the process. And I'm going to explain that a little bit in a minute, to show you exactly what that means. But in my mind, this will better meet the user's needs. So our problem space here, there's really two main problems with the class registration process. I can think of a bunch, but these two kind of overarching explain my frustration with it. First of all, it's not something that if you would just look at the screen, you understand how to do it. It's something that you look at and you say, what the heck is this? You click around and you have to try to figure it out. And most people, you have to have someone teach you. As a freshman, I had to sit down with an upperclassman and say, hey, help me. And my little brother, who's a sophomore, he still has to go to his advisor and have his advisor help him because it is just completely non-understandable. With a process that is so important as like signing up for classes, when you have competitive things you need to get into, or you're a later time ticket and you really need to get into these classes in order to graduate, and graduation's semi-important, understanding how to use the actual interface is important. Secondly, for some reason, it takes at least 4 to 5 tabs to actually complete the process in a full way, and I'll kind of show you what that looks like, at least for me, in a moment. But I think for the majority of users using this process, there's at least 3 to 4 tabs involved with doing this, and it just makes for a really horrible experience, and just leads in the end to confusion and a lot of issues when you're actually signing up for classes. In terms of my scope, since I'm a senior, that means since I'm graduating in May, I actually don't have to sign up for any more classes unless something horribly goes wrong and I have to take classes over the summer. But I think that that's a small hindrance to my scope because I'm actually physically not able to go in there and sign up for classes because I'm done. Luckily, 7/8 of the university and my peers still will have that access. I'm just going to have to find some willing participants to let me watch them or let me play with their account or something. I'm not 100% sure on how I'm going to complete that, but it's good that I at least have access to that. Another issue is that I can't do any competitor research because I am not enrolled at other universities. I can't see how other people complete this process at other schools. I'm sure there are other schools out there that have excellent class registration processes, but since I don't go there, I don't have access to those. And just given my current situation, it's not like I can exactly like drive to these schools and meet up with my friends who go to these schools and say, hey, let me watch you register for class. I can ask them about it, but I'm not really sure if I'll get much useful data from that. Maybe a little bit, but I think that in the end, just focusing my research on other parts of the project might be a bit more beneficial. Audience here is pretty easy. Basically, it's every Ball State student, everybody who has to sign up for classes. This will help every single one except for maybe people like me who don't have to register. So 7/8 of the student body are directly affected by this every semester 7 times in a row, which is pretty nuts. 8 times in a row, actually, duh. And while it doesn't only help Ball State students, it also will help advisors, professors, and other faculty who need this system to be able to direct students, input information, etc. So it has a very large and direct impact on a lot of people. And not only is this just something that is frustrating, but it could potentially cost somebody a lot of money if they aren't able to get into the classes they need, or if they have issues, or they end up graduating late because this system isn't fit to inform them of when they're not reaching graduation requirements, etc. And then the outcome of this idea obviously would be to make signing up for class easy. Being able to look at the screen and understanding exactly what to do, and being able to get to that end conclusion, which is registration, quickly and easily. My example here would be to be as easy as online shopping, which is something that anybody who has money and uses the internet knows how to use, because it is a very intuitive process and it is pretty streamlined across the board. So I'm going to look at that in just a minute when I show you some of my research. It would allow students and people who are taking classes and involved with classes to get the most out of this experience and have no confusion whatsoever. So let's kind of go through the current process here. So I'm already signed into my MyBSU, and this is kind of the portal where you go. So if I go to my self-service banner, wow, this opens a whole nother tab for no reason, but okay. And it's actually pretty slow here, but I think that's just Comcast's fault. Well, maybe MyBSU isn't working. Slowly. And if you do notice, oh, it's not working. Okay. It's literally not working. Well, okay. I guess we're going to take a pause here. Well, MyBSU is down, so I'm just going to show you some of my research here, and kind of explain where I'm coming from. So the first site I used is Kayak. I picked this one because there's a lot of information. There's a lot of things that need to be sorted down, and that's kind of similar to how the Ball State website is. Hundreds of travel sites as well. So if let's say I want to go to Denver, and these are the dates I picked. Oh, look, it even tells me it's a great price. I'm able to go through here, and it sorts the information based on my specifications, and that is just not a feature that we have in the class registration process. Look at all these filters that you can sort through different airline, alliance, different booking sites that are available, flight quality, all this stuff that you can sort through to give you the best results for exactly what you're looking for. You can even track the prices. That's pretty cool. And then you can also do very similar things for hotels, cars, packages, cruises, all kinds of stuff. And it's the same sort of process. And from this, I learned that these filters are drastically important when you're searching through tons and tons of information and trying to find one specific thing. If you don't have this, it's going to take a really long time to find exactly what you're looking for. Um, Another thing I was looking at was Amazon. I really like how Amazon is personalized. I'm able to, I mean, while this page is kind of nuts, it really looks at what I've been looking at in the past, my browsing history. I was looking at phone cases. Look how cute these are. And it's able to give me suggestions based on my history. Also, down here, if I scroll down even a little bit more, related to items you viewed, I was looking at supplements. And I think that's a really great thing about Amazon. And I think that with a process like registration, BSU has information, like as soon as you log in to Shibboleth, as soon as you log in with your bsu.edu address to a Ball State thing, it knows so much information about you. It knows your major, it knows all kinds of stuff. So why can't the class registration process take that information it has about you and create a personalized experience for you? I think that would really benefit the process because you would be able to circumvent so much searching just by the system knowing like who you are and what you're looking for based on how much you've completed with your graduation track, and what classes you need to take next. Next off, I was just looking at regular retail sites and kind of how like the cart system works. So say I go to Target's website and I'm looking at shoes. Of course I'm looking at shoes. Let's look at these heels. See if there's anything cute here. So I'm looking through my options. I've already narrowed down all of Target's inventory into this smaller category. Here on the side, I'm able to narrow it down even more. Look at all of these options. So let's say I really like these shoes. Okay, these are cute. I can read a bit more about these shoes. I can choose sizes. I can look at a size chart. There's a lot more that I could learn about these shoes just by clicking on here without even traveling to a new tab. So if I click add to cart, that gets obviously added to my cart. And I don't have to worry about it anymore because it's saved for me. I don't have to copy and paste thing into a note like I have to do when I sign up for class. Pain in the butt, let me tell you. I can continue shopping and add something else. Like if I like these nice fuzzy ones too, just picking some different options. Add that to cart. Let's say I want to check out. Change my mind. Fuzzy isn't really my style, so I could remove these. Boom, it's gone. No big deal. There's really not a whole lot to it, so I can check out, enter my card information, etc. There's my little plug in there. So I have Forever 21 pulled up as well because this just kind of goes to show, let's say I want to look at some rompers and jumpsuits, that maybe if I clicked it the right way, that the consumer process when you're shopping online is so widely similar from site to site that when you use it, you automatically understand what's going on because every site is essentially the same. Say I like this jumpsuit. Like I said, I can quick view it. I can learn more about it. look at different pictures, pick my size, and then I can add it to my cart. I can add more to my cart, or I can just go here and it has it there for me in there already. So what I'm saying is that if a process like this is so intuitive, why can't we use what we already know, use our expectations, and use our prior knowledge into a system like MyBSU when the self-service banner still isn't working, but whatever. And that's kind of what I learned from here, is that we do have expectations, and while these two sites do look very different, just two completely different layouts, I still know how to use both of them exactly the same, just because of prior knowledge that I have in my experiences. And overall, that's just kind of what I've learned. So some user requirements for this project is that basically users need to be able to sort their classes into respective departments, view a description on the course. So like if I were to click this choose options button and learn more about it. See important section information like time, days, location, professor, all important information about a course. Determine whether a class fits into their 4-year plan or graduation requirements. So pulling that information that Ball State and the system really knows about us and giving us options, and being able to determine whether that fits into our schedule so there's no issues come graduation. I should be able to plan out my schedule before my time ticket opens, so I'm not sitting there scrambling and hoping I get into these really important classes I need. Search for classes based on certain criteria like professor, department, time, number of credit hours, having all of those filters like Kayak does on the side. I don't know what that is. I should be able to add or delete classes with ease while I'm shopping. I'm going to say shopping instead of searching here because essentially I'm spending money on these classes. It's literally shopping. I should be able to begin and complete the registration process in a single browser tab. I shouldn't have to pull up 1,000. I would have been able to show you, but MyBSU is being really dumb. Maybe it's because it's 3:30 in the morning, but I have no idea. But you've all registered for class before, and so I know you understand the pain that I'm feeling here. And then complete the process quickly enough to get into these competitive courses. So basically, I think that kind of covers everything. If you guys have any critiques for me, go ahead and send them to me. I know this video is a little bit long, I'm sorry, and it's because bsu.edu is being really dumb. But I'd love to hear any feedback you guys have, and I appreciate you guys listening. Thanks.